So while experience is an important factor in helping a team return to title contention, so is fit. And what I've learned from multiple sources is that from the onset, the fit between the Fever and Bonner was not a good one. After 3 games in a starting role, Bonner was moved to the bench in favor of shooting guard Lexi Hull, and 6 games later, she was done with the Fever. The Fever originally cited personal reasons for her absence, but what I learned later, again from multiple sources, was that the team was actually actively shopping her on the trade market.
DeWanna Bonner just made the biggest mistake of her career, and Caitlin Clark is the one left cleaning up the mess, while fans are wondering how a supposed veteran leader turned into the most unexpected liability of the Indiana Fever's season. If this is what leadership looks like, then someone owes Caitlin an apology and probably a refund too, because DeWanna didn't just walk away from the team, she walked away from everything she claimed to stand for. This wasn't an injury. This wasn't a tragedy. This was a full-on disappearing act wrapped in vague excuses and dipped in diva behavior.
Let's go, boy! The beast is finally back, man. Somebody that waited patiently and wanted to be here, man. Get that string bean paper clip built out. DeWanna Bonner up out of here. That's why you got waived. And we brought back Miss Ari McDonald, who made more of an impact on the hardship deal than your goofy ass did the few games that you played, Goofy. Ari, it's lit, man. Man, we happy as hell to have you back, man. You made such a good impression. You brought such a spark to this team, that dog mentality that we really need on the Indiana Fever, man. It's about to be lit. CC gang, Fever gang, man. Oh, man. We still need another decent big, though, I feel. Maybe the Fever can make another move down the road or something, but this is huge right here, man. Ari, so good to have you back, man. Let's do this damn thing. We appreciate you. We love what you bring to the game and to the table, man. Oh, man, this worked out amazing. Fever fans, Clark fans, been stressing, how can we bring Miss Ari McDonald back? And look how it all works out, ladies and gentlemen. Ari, we can't wait to see you back on the court, man. CC gang, Fever gang, haters, y'all could chew on that.
And the timing couldn't have been worse. She bounced right when the team needed her most, just as Caitlin was returning from injury and trying to find her rhythm again. It would almost be funny if it wasn't so insulting. A player who was hyped as a championship anchor quit before the season even hit its stride. She said she came here to win, but it looks more like she came here to pout. And while she collects checks, posts Instagram selfies during games, and ghosts the franchise, Caitlin Clark is out here battling on every possession, getting hacked with no whistles, and carrying a team whose so-called veteran presence just bailed without warning.
The situation we're looking at now is that teams will have 48 hours to pick Bonner up off of waivers, but there are only 2 teams with the cap space to do so: the Golden State Valkyries and the Washington Mystics. Another note to this whole picking Bonner up off of waivers or not is multiple sources have indicated that Bonner is not going to be picked up off of waivers because teams have been advised not to do so. Why would that be the case?
Caitlin deserved better. Indiana fans deserve better. And DeWanna Bonner should probably reconsider how she defines professionalism, because this ain't it. The worst part? People believed in her. Caitlin believed in her. This wasn't some locker room filler they brought in last minute. This was the prize veteran, the decorated all-star, the woman who was supposed to balance out Caitlin's inexperience with poise and leadership. Except the only thing she led was herself straight out the door. When Bonner first signed with Indiana, the city rolled out the red carpet. Fans treated her like royalty. Jerseys sold out, interviews aired nonstop, and everyone acted like the missing piece had finally arrived.
Bro, we know DB.
Yeah.
Like, that was our team.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell going on over there to make her? Because she really, like...
She a pro. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's a pro's pro. So it's like...
What the hell?
What in the actual... Huh? Like, even when it's, like, sitting out games... I didn't even know she sat out.
I told you the other day.
That's what I'm saying. I did not know that, bro.
Yeah.
And now it's like parting ways, bro, it's like, man, I don't know what's going on over there. But I know DB a pro, so it had to be something.
Show the hell did.
It was something.
Something happened, bro.
Something had
DB
to
ain't
happen,
just
bro.
gonna up and leave.
DB ain't just not playing, bro.
She not just up and leave.
Like, come on, bro. She not even giving it up like that. That ain't
like,
even...
Caitlin Clark made it clear she was excited, even going as far as saying she wanted to win a ring for Bonner. That kind of respect doesn't come easy. And for what? For DeWanna to give up 9 games in and vanish behind the vague smokescreen of personal reasons? That's not just a letdown. That's a betrayal. And the worst part is how completely avoidable it all was. Because if this was really about injury or something serious, the team would have said so. But instead, we got radio silence. Week after week, fans waited for news, hoping it was something minor, hoping Bonner would come back stronger. But the longer the silence lasted, the more obvious it became. She wasn't coming back, she didn't want to, and you know what really tipped people off? The social media activity. Or, more accurately, the suspicious lack of it. Bonner started scrubbing her fever-related posts. Her jersey stopped being available in the team store. Her banner at Gainbridge Fieldhouse magically disappeared. And just when fans were still holding out hope, still telling themselves it might be something serious, she decided to post a casual late-night Instagram update. Not about the team, not about basketball, just some random vibes right in the middle of a fever game, while she was still being paid, still officially out for personal reasons. If you want a blueprint for how to alienate a fan base in record time, that's it. Imagine being so uninterested in your team that you start posting selfies during their games. That's not leadership. That's not veteran mentality. That's a middle school level tantrum dressed up in expensive sneakers. Let's not forget why she was brought in. This wasn't about buckets. It wasn't even about stats. She was supposed to be the voice of reason, the calming force next to a rookie who has the pressure of the entire league on her shoulders. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She is the face of the WNBA right now. Every game she plays gets more media coverage than some playoff runs. She needed someone who had been through the wars, someone who could help her navigate the insane spotlight. Instead, she got ghosted. She got left in the fire by someone who said she came to win, but apparently couldn't handle not being the star. Because let's be real, this whole thing started falling apart the moment Bonner got benched. Word is she wasn't thrilled about losing her starting spot to Lexi Hull, and instead of earning her way back or mentoring the younger players like she said she would, she bounced. Just like that. Poof. Gone. The irony is unbearable. All offseason long, she gave interviews about how excited she was to be part of something bigger than herself, about how she wanted to give back, teach the next generation, help a young core grow into something great. But when that role required her to actually be selfless and supportive, she folded. It's almost impressive how fast the narrative flipped. One minute, she's the experienced glue meant to hold things together, and the next, she's an unsolvable mystery who refuses to explain anything and treats her exit like a private vacation. And Caitlin? She's left on an island, still showing up, still trying, still answering media questions with grace while Bonner hides behind a wall of silence. And don't think fans didn't notice the disrespect. At first, they were worried. They gave her the benefit of the doubt. This is Indiana, after all. These fans care. They're loyal. But you can only stay quiet for so long before the questions start piling up. And when those questions get ignored, people start forming their own answers. And those answers don't look good, especially when they line up with what we're now hearing from multiple media outlets that Bonner didn't want to come off the bench, that she wasn't happy with her role, that she had no interest in returning. That's not personal reasons. That's personal pride. Let's talk about what that message sends to the fans, to the front office, and especially to the locker room. What exactly are the young players supposed to take from this? That if things don't go your way, you just leave? That leadership only matters when you're playing 30 minutes a night? Caitlin Clark didn't just lose a teammate, she lost a role model, or at least the illusion of one. And with every game, you can see the weight piling on her, the physical toll, the emotional strain. She's still playing hard, still putting in the effort, but the joy is fading. You can see it in her body language. And frankly, no one should be surprised. This season has been chaos. First, the bogus investigation into hate speech that somehow led nowhere. Then Caitlin gets injured, misses 5 games, comes back, and immediately gets knocked to the floor with zero protection from officials. Meanwhile, Bonner is chilling somewhere far away from the action, posting like she's on a wellness retreat. The contrast is unreal. One player is grinding through every obstacle. The other one dipped at the first sign of adversity. and you wonder why fans are upset. You wonder why the mood around the team feels tense. This isn't just about missing a player, it's about trust, and that trust got shattered. And just to pour more salt on the wound, rumors are now flying that Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's partner, may have influenced the decision to walk away from the Fever, which honestly wouldn't surprise anyone because Alyssa already had beef with Indiana fans. She made comments last season that rubbed people the wrong way. So now it's like, oh great, this wasn't just about basketball, it was politics, it was drama, it was everything except what this team needed. The vibe was off from day one, and now we know why. By the time the team finally waived Bonner, the damage had already been done. Fans were done with the excuses. The front office had no leverage. They either traded her for peanuts or cut her and freed up some cap space. They chose the latter. And you know what? Good. Because she wasn't contributing, she wasn't playing, and clearly she didn't want to be there. The locker room doesn't need a ghost. It needs leaders. Players who are all in. Bonner proved she wasn't. So now Indiana can move on. They brought back Ari McDonald, who immediately added some much-needed energy. They've still got vets like Natasha Howard and Sydney Colson who actually show up. That box is still checked. But make no mistake, the scar from this will stick for a while. Because Caitlin Clark deserved better. She deserved a veteran who would have her back, someone she could lean on. Instead, she got blindsided. And the message that sends to every young player on that team is brutal. If the going gets tough, the vet gets going. You're on your own. That's not how this was supposed to play out. That's not how you build a winning culture. And it sure as hell isn't how you treat a generational rookie who's doing everything in her power to make this franchise relevant again. And maybe that's the real mistake Bonner made. Not walking away, not quitting, but walking away from this team at this moment when the spotlight is bigger than ever, when every move is under a microscope, when every decision is going to be remembered. This isn't some quiet exit stage left. This is a career-defining misstep that fans won't forget and future teams will think twice about. Because if you bailed on Caitlin Clark, what's stopping you from doing the same to someone else? And now, Caitlin's left carrying the weight. Again. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's that she doesn't shy away from pressure. She doesn't duck the spotlight. She leans into it. She fights. She keeps playing even when the refs forget she exists. She keeps leading even when the leaders disappear. And maybe, just maybe, that's the silver lining here. Because as frustrating and painful as this whole mess has been, it finally clears the air. No more confusion, no more waiting, no more wondering if Bonner's coming back. She's gone. The door is closed. And now, finally, the Fever can focus on building a team that actually wants to be here. And for DeWanna Bonner, well, enjoy the offseason. Because that max contract just became a giant question mark. And while she might land somewhere else, one thing's for sure. No fan base is rolling out the welcome mat the way Indiana did. That was a one-time deal, and she blew it. Now, let's get into what this means long term, because this isn't just a one-time locker room incident. This is a culture shift moment. The Fever are building something real, something that could change the trajectory of the entire league. And for DeWanna to walk away from that, it says more about her than it ever will about Indiana. When you bail on a team with the most exciting rookie in a generation, when you bail on a city that literally embraced you the second you landed, you don't just leave the locker room, you burn the bridge on the way out. Because let's not act like this was a mutual breakup. This was abandonment. And the young players, they're watching. They see who shows up. They see who stays in the fight. And whether it's fair or not, this whole saga becomes part of DeWanna's legacy. She could have played this differently. Could have embraced the role change. Could have used her experience to guide the team and finish her career on a high note. But instead of going out as the wise veteran who helped build a contender, she's exiting stage left with her reputation in limbo. She went from mentor to missing in action, from centerpiece to cautionary tale, and no amount of PR spin can fix that. Not when the silence says more than any statement ever could. The media tried to give her space. The team tried to handle it respectfully. But there's only so long you can keep up appearances when fans are demanding answers and your veteran star is nowhere to be found. Every week, she stayed gone without comment chipped away at the goodwill. Every day, the front office dodged the topic, made it worse. And by the time the reports dropped that she didn't even want to return, it was already too late. The trust was gone, the patience was gone, and the fans were done waiting. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark is the reason this team matters. The reason every Fever game feels like an event. She's the face of the league, whether the league is ready for that or not. And with all the pressure she's under, the last thing she needed was a so-called leader tapping out before the real battle even began. This isn't some rebuilding team where vibes don't matter. This is the most watched WNBA franchise right now. This is prime time. Every story becomes national news. Every drama plays out in front of millions. And DeWanna knew that. She knew the spotlight would be bright. She just didn't want to share it. And what did Caitlin do when DeWanna disappeared? She kept going, kept showing up to media scrums with the same poised answers, kept battling through hard screens and even harder fouls, kept grinding through rough shooting nights, adjusting her game, looking for ways to win. You think that's easy when your supposed support system vanishes? When you're 23 years old, trying to adjust to a league that barely protects you, while your own locker room is falling apart behind closed doors? Caitlin has had every reason to break down this season, and she hasn't. Meanwhile, DeWanna couldn't handle being benched. And now people want to talk about what's next. Where does Bonner go from here? Will another team take the risk? Can she salvage her reputation? Sure, maybe, but it won't be what it was. She's not walking into any locker room with automatic respect anymore. That's not how it works. You don't get to say you're a leader and then vanish mid-season without facing consequences. And she's gonna feel that, whether it's in free agency, in endorsements, or in the way fans react when her name gets brought up. The court of public opinion has already made its ruling, and it's not flattering. But back to Indiana, because as chaotic as this has been, there's a real opportunity here, a chance to reset, a chance to finally put this mess behind them and focus on building something sustainable. Bonner leaving frees up cap space, it removes the distraction. It puts the spotlight back where it belongs on the players who are still here, the ones who want to be here. Players like Clark, like McDonald, like Howard and Colson. They might not have the resume Bonner brought in, but they've got something she lost along the way, commitment, and this team has already shown they can adapt. That Liberty game after Caitlin's return? Electric. Even in the losses, there's fight, there's energy, and most importantly, there's clarity now. There's no more waiting. No more wondering when or if Bonner's coming back. That chapter is closed. And honestly, that alone might be the best news all season, because indecision is a killer. In sports, in business, in life, and the Fever don't have time to play guessing games. They've got a shot to make the playoffs, they've got momentum, and they've got a generational player who needs a better support system. So it's time to give it to her. Time to stop leaning on past their prime vets who expect star treatment without star production. Time to start building around the people who actually want to grow with the franchise. Because that's what this moment demands. Not band-aids, not names on paper, real contributors, real teammates. And here's the thing, Caitlin is only going to get better. The numbers might be inconsistent right now, but the flashes, they're unreal. The passing vision, the shooting range, the court awareness. You can see it, you can feel it. The greatness is right there. And once she gets a roster around her that actually fits, once she's not carrying the emotional baggage of teammates quitting mid-season, this team is going to explode. The WNBA knows it, the fans know it, and deep down, DeWanna Bonner probably knows it too. She walked away from the biggest spotlight the league has ever seen, and she won't get that back. So to the fans still rocking with the Fever, you were right to be upset, right to feel blindsided, right to expect more from someone with Bonner's resume. But now, the healing starts. The next chapter begins, and it starts with clarity, with accountability, with new energy. Because if this season has proven anything, it's that no matter what happens around her, Caitlin Clark shows up. And it's about time the rest of the franchise matched that energy. And if DeWanna ever wants to rebuild her image, it starts with honesty, with taking responsibility, with not hiding behind silence or letting anonymous sources do the talking. Because no one's rooting for failure here. No one's wishing her harm. But if you want the respect, you have to earn it. Not demand it, not expect it, earn it. On the court, in the locker room, with the fans. That's how reputations are built and rebuilt. So where does this leave us? With a fan base that deserves answers. With a franchise that just dodged a cultural bullet. With a star rookie who is still fighting through all the noise and setting an example by just showing up. And with a cautionary tale that every future free agent should study carefully. Because Indiana may be a small market, but it's not a forgettable one. Not anymore. Not with Caitlin Clark in town. And if you think you can just treat it like a stepping stone and disappear when things get inconvenient, The fans will remember, the media will remember, and so will the league. Because when you make the biggest mistake of your career, people don't forget. And DeWanna Bonner just found that out the hard way.